Good morning, everybody. I shall be providing an economic discussion of the justification of e-scooters in Australia today. I intended to analyze the economic principles like scarcity, opportunity cost, market structure, and externalities to the emergency e-scooter market. I will also put an emphasis on challenges, opportunities, and long-term sustainability recommendations. After completing this presentation, you will gain a clear insight into the possibility of e-scooters in the future of urban mobility in Australia. And another slide is another slide is key point of this presentation. Major highlights of this presentation. There are a number of themes that this presentation is built on. To begin with, I will describe scarcity and opportunity cost, which will contextualize the economic decision making process of integrating e-scooters. Subsequently, I will mm, tackle the production possibility frontier frontier and its implication on the quality of the fleet and expansion. Then we will examine the trend of demand and supply and the market structure which determines the competition. I will also discuss cost and break even analysis, macroeconomic conditions, and externalities. I will also conclude with the strategic recommendations and an overview of the market perspective. And is scarcity and opportunity cost. Economic focuses on scarcity and it is a very critical in the e-scooter market. There is a shortage of resources like capital, availability of fleets, charging stations, and maintenance staff. When people select the location of these limited resources, they have opportunity cost as is done in the cost of investment in fleet expansion. It may be at the expense of investing in quality or safety equity. The emphasis on high-end scooters as the best in terms of durability may limit the availability of scooters to reach a broad range of coverage. The knowledge of this trade of assets that business to balance profitability, sustainability, and consumer trust. And another slide is slide PPF and strategic implications. The production possibility frontier PPF assets in demonstrating the compromise between the quality of the fleet and expansion. When companies focus on growth, they will hurt their reputation by causing accidents or inadequate quality of service. Conversely, concentrating on the high-end scooters will make the market reach narrow. The best sustainable plan is that somewhere on the curve between growth and scarcity and security and maintenance. This is because in the competitive Australian market, the ability to keep the growth at par, consumer retention and adherence to safety standard will play a crucial role in long-term success. The significance of strategic resources allocation is evident. In another slide, Slide number 5, market demand and supply. Australian e-scooter market is growing faster. The demand is growing at a rapid pace given the urbanization, sustainability issues, and younger techno-savvy consumers. The intended market are urban commuters, tourists, and students who would like to use affordable, convenient, and environmental friendly means of transportation. It is projected that the market would expand by USD 1.04 billion in 2024 to USD 3.08 billion by 2033 with a CAGR of 11.5. The long-term growth trend is positive through the demand is very elastic. That is the customer are very price sensitive. That is why e-scooter are an applying appealing and competitive form of mobility in cities in Australia. And another slide 6, market structure and competition. Australian is a monopoly in the scooter rental scooter with leading companies. Beam market share of 35, Lime market share of 30, and Neuron market share of 25. The rest 10 is owned by smaller companies. There are very high entry barriers because of the strict regulation, licensing, and capital investment. Already established companies have first move advantages, council contract, and infrastructures. In order to com- compete, companies cannot afford the complete based on price alone. Companies have to differentiate based on quality, safety, and innovation. This provides the customer confidence and at the same time helps farms to survive in a highly competitive environment. And another slide number 10, which is slide number slide number 7, production cost and break even analysis. Operating an e-scooter business entails both fixed costs like acquiring fleets, permits, as well as infrastructure, and variable costs like maintenance, charging, as well as labor. Break-even analysis is important in order to determine financial viability. In startups, it takes a substantial utilization and cost control to break even. Exclusive growth without adequate demand can lead to a strain on finances, and underinvestment can lead to a market share loss. In this way, it is important to track cost structure, demand of rights, and efficiency of operations, the profitability of the business. Business hide hinges on the ability to balance between skills and cost management of the Australian urban transport landscape. And another macroeconomic condition. The growth in the Australian economy is at present so but steadily. The GDP is expected to grow 1.3% in 2024-25. Inflation is coming down to approximately 2.1 and unemployment rate is 4.22. Although stability helps in gradual consumer spending, high intent rates, and supply chain pressures are still a challenge. In this case of the e-scooter industry, this wealthier pretended to to the lack of growth perspective muted by the pressure of prices, the investors should be weigh when funding and cost of operations will continue to be essential issues of concern. However, these macroeconomic challenges can be offset with the demand of a sustainable low cost mobility by consumer. In another externalities and international factors. There are positive and negative externalities to e-scooters. The advantages are that it facilitates the reduction of congestion, emissions costs, and affordable last mile transportation. Accidents, clutters, footpath, and medical expenses are, however, among the risks. These negative effects can be internationalized through policies in terms of geo-fencing, parking, hubs, and insurance. On the international level, Australia relies on imports of scooters and batteries, which subjects the operators to currency and trade risks. On the one hand, green mobility with the government subsidize is worth the support. Companies which comply with sustainability policies would be able to receive grant, save on the startups expenses and enhance social acceptance. Another slide is a recommendation. In order to be successful in this market rivalry, I will suggest five strategies. Focuses on quality and safety and invest in quality scooters and corresponding maintenance to develop consumer loyalty. And second is enhance council partnership to obtain the permission and enjoy government subsidies that reduce the regulatory risks. Use technology to facilitate safety functions via apps, loyalty and retention via geofencing. And four is a reduced supply chain risks through diversified suppliers and financial investment in order to uh, offset currency functions. And another is grow slowly in in line with availability of demand to maintain financial viability. All these strategies combine strike a balance between profitability, safety, and resilience in the market. In another slide, conclusion. To sum up, Australian e-scooter market has highly opportunities but equally different challenges. The obstacles to new entrant are the oligopoly from regulatory obstacles and reliance on importing. Nevertheless, the increasing demand in cities, sustainability targets, and the favorable government policies are likely to make this scooter bring the compromising between growth and quality, efficient risk management, and building consumer trust will help to attain long-term success in line with the trend of sustainability and safety. E-scooters companies can establish themselves in the dynamic city movement environment in Australia. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much, ma'am.